Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, which means it's time for yet another salty Saturday morning. And we are bringing the sexy back with our fantastic panel of nerds, starting with the one and only Dutch Butters. Now, guys, I don't know if you know this, but the Salty Saturday show is going through a rebrand, and Dutch's hat is emblematic of that. So this is our new logo after 3 years in business. Salty Saturday has rebranded with this logo.
And, I thought we had an agreement, Matthew.
Well, okay, Dutch. I can see this is our new logo, so we can now we can now officially rebrand as the Dutch Butter Show.
I'm gonna get a cup of sweet tea and some crackers and go hang out on my front porch.
Go fishing. Yeah. How you doing, Dutch?
I'm okay. I'm all right. I had something to say, but I didn't know you were going to play that stupid ad at the beginning of the show. Now I'm completely lost my train of thought. But hey,
well, you're showing off your hat. You got to show off your jeans.
Yeah, I don't have any pants on right now. I can't show them off.
You're also doing laundry.
I'm doing laundry. Yeah, all my clothes are in the room next door. So I got to go put them in a dryer in a second.
Yeah, just turn off your camera before you stand up.
I will.
It's all in favor.
I will for sure.
Porky pigging it over there.
Well, it's pretty normal. Normal.
Winnie the Poohing it.
At least he's not peeing in a bottle.
Yeah,
like some people.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of which, Brian from the podcast.
Hey,
how you doing, Brian?
Not bad, man. Glad to be here. Glad to hang out with you guys every Saturday. Good to see you, especially Odin. Can't wait to argue about something.
Yeah, do you have all your facts in front of you, Brian?
Yes, I have all my facts.
Because you have to qualify it with
my feelings.
In my opinion. I
have all my facts and my feelings ready to go.
By the way, it's Brian's brother Shane's birthday today, so happy birthday, Shane!
Happy birthday, Brian's brother Shane. The way you set that up, that's
exactly.
Brian's brother Shane.
Brian's brother Shane. And also, before we get to Odin, Paulie from Latino Slant celebrated his 10-year sobriety anniversary. So congratulations, Paulie. Very proud of that milestone. That was great stuff. Awesome. But speaking of great stuff, Odin from O&B Reviews is here after a slight technical hiccup. How you doing, buddy?
So far I'm still live. I'm still streaming, so that's good. My computer crashed on me, gave me like that blue screen of death. Something has gone wrong, and then took 5 minutes to reboot after restarting like 3 or 4 times. So who knows what's gonna happen? This is a computer. It's not too old. I think I built it 5 years ago, maybe at this point. But
it's time for a new one.
We'll see what happens.
It's old, dude. It's done.
Yes, and rejoining us from the fascistic, Nazi-controlled state of California, Gabe Eltaeb. How you doing?
The free city, America's finest city, San Diego. As I complained before the show, it is a heat wave. We got to 79, maybe 80 today. Everyone here is very upset about this.
Oh, right. I'm in Orange County right now. It's like 67 degrees, dude.
Oh, so you're okay. So you're in the other conservative stronghold on the coast.
Yeah. I'm in the other purple part of the state.
Nice. Have you? I could go into the OC. I love the OC. Anyway,
the show. Wow.
No.
I love get you as an OC guy. That's interesting.
San Juan Capistrano. Trevor's at the tracks. If you haven't eaten there, please go there. Okay. So good.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have Gabe back. Did you get to go to Comic-Con this year, Gabe?
Yeah, I have my booth there.
Big
Man Comics, booth 1705 every year there. Yeah, it's an awesome time. I had a great time. I kind of center my calendar, my year as a comic book writer, artist, publisher around the Comic-Con. It's like, we want to have this done by Comic-Con. This is our yearly goals. That's my, not fiscal, but just kind of my business kind. I love Comic-Con. It's a home game for me. Obviously, I live like a 10-minute drive away, just down the road. I love it. Been going since I was 17. So 96. So this would be like 29 years for me.
Nice.
Yeah, I stopped going to Comic-Con because of the 3-hour trip and waiting another hour to get in and then having to squeeze next to nerds and sweaties. It was just too packed for me.
I've never gone as like a fan. I started going as a professional like in 97 or 98. I went as a fan like the first 2-3 years. So I don't know what the fan experience is. When you have a booth, when you have the secret Warner Brothers green room to go eat upstairs, it's a completely different experience. So I sympathize with the fans because there's nowhere to sit at that place.
Nowhere to sit, and like you're shoulder to shoulder with everyone. It's nuts.
Also, apparently apparently all the panels get like sold out, or like the lines are like around the block at like
immediately
9 a.m. and like you can't get into anything.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
Yeah, 29 years for me. Never been to a panel. Not interested. Don't know why people go. No idea. I don't care.
Depends on who's there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I went to one once to support a friend. Never mind.
Yeah, that's like the kind of thing I think it makes sense to go with, because I know I went to not Comic-Con but to another like panel that they had at one of these con events where it was like Gina Carano, like a one-on-one conversation, and it was kind of like in the midst of the aftermath. It's like that was really cool, and like there were like a couple young girls who came up and like asked her questions and said how much of a hero she was. It's like that's the reason why for me it makes sense to go. But there are definitely some where you're like, why would I want to go learn something? Like the educational ones especially, it's like, what?
I only ever went to one panel, and that was the one where they showed the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's the only one I ever waited in line for, and it was worth it.
Well, guys,
Marvel shill.
Speaking of support, we have our leaderboard, which is Scotty Dub, Made You Say Butts, still at the top donators, then Mexican Iron Man, who is our most consistent donator, and Jillian H, Major Chai Chai, and Eric Winberg, who are our top gifters. So we appreciate you guys. Scotty Dub is still our top contributor overall for the year, so appreciate him. And also, like, our goal is to hit 10 memberships.
I think we're there.
This episode.
All right.
I think we're at 6. But we're going to get to those in a second.
All right, we're going to move that to 16 memberships today.
Maybe.
All right.
And then we're still trying to hit our 25K sub goal before the end of the year. Don't think we're going to hit it, but if you guys want to help out in any way, shape, or form, appreciate that. Dutch, what's going on over at saltynerdiscord.com?
Yeah, Dutch.
Yeah, Dutch, what's going on over there,
What's
bro?
going on? Huh?
Yeah, people are talking about nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it?
Yeah, that's
Anything
it,
else?
man. No, not really. We kicked a couple people out this week for being dickheads.
Nice.
I mean, that's always
I
fun.
wasn't
What
being a
about free
dickhead.
speech? What about free speech?
We only have one rule. We only had one rule on the Discord, and it was just don't be a dick. And apparently,
No,
that
there's
was
2 rules. Also,
that was-
no pictures of feet.
that was too complicated for some people, so we took care of that. And no, everything's going fine over there. We got a good group of people, and they're just being nerds, man, talking about video games and movies and fun stuff like that. So yeah, saltynerdiscord.com. Yeah,
If you want to join our Discord community, just go to saltynerdiscord.com. Takes you right there. Speaking of going right there, we got Mephisto's movie reviews coming up right after this show. He does the Real McCoy podcast every Saturday right after our show ends, but he has stiff competition because the Brain Show
What's up?
comes on right immediately after our show, right after Brian pees in his pee bottle.
Yep, I
Brian,
literally
what do
pee
you-
in a bottle.
What do you got going on today's Brain Show?
We're talking about Nobody 2. We're talking about the Cracker Barrel, Sydney Sweeney, Washington, D.C., and the Meta AI. Facebook's AI is grooming children. And it's both horrible and funny because Mark Zuckerberg doesn't know how to be a human. So he gets on there to talk about it, and he looks like an AI version of himself talking about it. It's really funny.
well, you have to be a human to pretend to be one. So
It's funny, like he leaves mistakes in his videos on purpose. You can tell because he wants to appear more personable, but because they were left in there on purpose and it was clearly scripted, it just looks like an AI person talking. It's like, yes, cough here. I'm like, what are you doing?
All right. Well, hopefully Shane gets to join you today on his birthday. So it's a working birthday, probably.
He's going to join us. Yeah, me, him, and John.
Is John now a regular on the Brain Show?
I mean, as long as he wants to be, yeah,
Right on. You guys also do that Stargate watch along.
Yes, Stargate tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon. We do the Stargate watch along. I think we're on episode 17 of season 2 right now. It's great. It's a fun time. It's like my favorite part of the week.
You guys are just tearing through those seasons.
Yep. And we do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Thursdays now. So.
Oh wow,
Oh, man.
As if you didn't have enough time.
Yeah, we're going hard, bro. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of going hard, we have our gifted memberships from Jillian H. She gifted 5 Salty Nerd Podcast memberships, followed by Eric Winberg doing his obligatory 1 Salty Nerd Podcast gifted membership. Thank you guys so much. And Mexican Iron Man dropping in for $10. Shout out to Gabe for being a heroic American artistic creator. FYI, I had my 12-year-old with me this summer, and he loved All American Lawman, which he found on my stand-up
nice.
spinner rack.
Nice.
Speaking
I
of
read that.
Gabe-
I read that as autistic, not artistic.
Speaking of that,
be
Gabe,
wrong.
you got a new project coming out. I'd love to hear all about it.
I got a lot of stuff. Speaking of All-American Lawman, really quick, I have that handy with me right here. I finished writing the third draft of the script a week ago. Dean has it. Dean and I are going to talk on Monday, and then the illustrator, Akion, got me some notes. I'm going to do a fourth rewrite this weekend and this week. So the second volume of All-American Lawman will be coming sooner than you think. We're going to be getting to work on that. And I just finished page 125, illustrating last night of the Unstoppable Tyrus. Fox News superstar Tyrus and I are good friends. We made up this really awesome thing. If you like Incredible Hulk meets Ninja Turtles, meets a little bit of like Indiana Jones, National Treasure, like, ancient civilizations and some prophecies. Really fun book. I just finished illustrating that last night. I've been working on that all year since right before Christmas. But 125 pages, just finished that. But I put out at Comic-Con last month, Empyrean, Earth Illuminated. That is a sci-fi epic. Husband and wife team. Casimir the Destroyer is an evil dictator. He's got all these people fooled that he is their loving God. He's their father. It's kind of like a North Korea situation. But Oliver and Elvira, the two heroes there, the blue and the orange, she's a researcher. He's a test pilot. And they figured out there's some ancient legends about a hidden world, a hidden paradise. And Casimir and his empire and his cyborg assassin, they want to cover all that up. It's really fun. It's everything you loved about the old Star Wars and all that. And it's a great adventure. And it's something you can hand to kids. It's great for adults, just like the old stuff we loved, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, all that good stuff. But you can let a kid watch it with you. You don't have to worry you're going to cover their eyes or anything like that. So I'm trying to just bring you the best entertainment. I've taken, that's not a word. I've taken a great stand against like Warner Brothers and Disney and all that. But I don't want you to buy my work because of that. I do not want you to buy my work because we're owning the libs. I want you to buy my work because it's entertaining and it's uplifting. You know what I mean? So I do my best with that to make it really good.
Well, Gabe, nothing's more entertaining than owning the libs.
Well, they are easy to provoke. I hate to admit this. There's a little dog that lives like a block or two from me. And if you get near the fence, he goes crazy. Sometimes I might accidentally run my finger on the fence when I walk by that yard. I'm just saying I might accidentally do it and then just kind of laugh when he goes crazy. It's not nice, but it makes me laugh. I don't do it all the time. But that's how the libs are, kind of. You just kind of say that you like being, a traditional person, and they go foaming at the mouth. So, yeah, I've got great entertainment for you. Go to bigmancomics.com and please check all that out. We're crowdfunding Empyrean right now. The book's already done, though. That's what I do on the crowdfund, because a lot of times crowdfunded products of all kinds, they take a lot of money from you, and then nothing ever shows up, or the money just seems to evaporate. And this is done. I put the risk out there. This is drawn, illustrated. It's beautiful. And it's already done. I already printed some up, so you'll get it. They start shipping end of September, beginning of October. We're just waiting to see all the orders that come in to make sure we print the correct amount. I printed a bunch, but then I'll order more depending on how many more people order. So yeah, bigmancomics.com. Please check out everything I'm doing there.
Yep, good stuff. So speaking of Dean Cain and being a lawman, turns out he's an actual lawman now. So Dean Cain has become an ICE agent, immigration enforcement agent, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but Dean was actually like a officially sworn deputy, and like an actual like policeman.
Yes, in Idaho, he's a reserve policeman, and in Virginia, he's a reserve sheriff's deputy.
There you go. Yeah. And so like he was already a lawman, but now he has actually been recruited into ICE. I think not in an official capacity, but maybe in like an honorary capacity. But he is able to go out and conduct raids and stuff like that. And so like he's a real Superman. He's actually going out there and actually fighting crime. But he's getting a lot of flack from the left wing on this stuff, because basically they're like, oh, you're tearing apart families, you're deporting citizens, you're the worst Superman ever. But Dean has been clapping back against all this stuff. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of just briefly talk about it, because I think the only other person that I can think of who actually like went from being an actor into a lawman was Steven Seagal. And we all know how that turned out. But Gabe, do you have any insight on
absolutely
Dean's working with ICE?
Yeah. Well, as you guys know, but maybe the audience know, Dean and I are very good friends. We're not just business partners making graphic novels. We're actually friends. I go to his house and stuff like that. And we talk a lot. And we were talking about it 2 days ago. He was flying home from Georgia, where he'd done the obstacle courses and the shooting tests and all that. And they did swear him in honorarily as an ICE agent. And then he'll have to go back and do some more class work and some testing and all that. And then he will officially be sworn in. So it's not just some honorary thing where like, hey, you're a celeb, we'll just hand you some, pretend like dollar store badge. Like, no, he's really doing the stuff. And there's a little bit of video out there of him jumping over the walls and crawling through tunnels and doing shooting stuff. So that's what he was telling me. He's told me some other stuff I can't talk about, but yes, he is actually going to do this. I think it'll be September, October. He said, well, he'll be doing the classwork and the testing and all that kind of stuff. So yes, he's really doing this. And I will tell you this, the Dean that you guys have all seen in interviews and stuff like that, he's really smart, but he's very kind, very generous with his time. He's a good guy, but hanging out with him, going out to eat at restaurants and dinners and hanging out at his house and just watching movies and doing stuff, same guy. You would not know he was a former NFL, former actor, Princeton graduate, blah, 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 all this great stuff. He just completely acts like any of my other friends. He's not arrogant or weird or anything like that. He's really one of the most decent, genuine guys I've ever met. So very proud of him, very happy for him. And I hope this does a lot for ICE and law enforcement and for the government and just straightening our country out. We don't want to turn into like Europe where we're just overrun with crime and people that hate our culture and our country. We don't need that. So I think a person like him that has generally a favorable standing with the public, they can do a lot to encourage people to volunteer either politically or like get involved with law enforcement themselves. So I like it. I support it completely. I mean, we called the book that I wrote with him, All-American Lawman. That's a play on he was an All-American football player and he's a lawman. He's a law and order kind of guy. So that's why, the graphic novel kind of exemplifies those kind of that kind of mentality, that kind of spirit. So it's awesome for him. I love to see it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Lois and Clark when I was like, going through high school. And so like to me, he's always been like a legitimate Superman. But the thing I love about Dean Cain is like he doesn't give a fuck. He will fight back if people come after him. He claps back. Him, Kevin Sorbo, like there's like this little cadre of actors who like actually like made inroads into Hollywood that you see online now, and like they don't get too political, but like if they get attacked, they'll clap back at it, which I think is pretty nice. Brian, a lot of the late night talk shows have been going after Dean Cain by just talking about all these like kind of like like not Hollywood blockbuster movies he's been in, like like Dog Saves Christmas or something like that, these Hallmark movies. And they're trying to denigrate him by saying like, oh, he's not like a real movie star, or like whatever. But I think that when you have people who are recognizable, especially someone who played an iconic character like Superman, who come out and they're like, hey, like, I'm going to be helping out, law enforcement and all this other stuff. I think that sends a really positive signal. And for some reason, and I know you're probably going to get into this in your show, but like liberals lately, they've come out in favor of crime. They've come out in favor of illegal immigration and all this other stuff. And it's just like they keep choosing the worst side of the issues. And so like, what's your take on Dean Cain, ICE officer?
Well, yeah, it's wild. You're so right. Like they come out in favor of crime. The stuff in Washington D.C. right now, since Trump took, because it's a fed, the state is a fed, so like they can actually bring in the military and they can make changes that you couldn't do in say places like California, and crime is down for the first time in decades. Crime is way down for the first time in decades. There's a 7-day period where there hasn't been a single homicide in DC. First up,
first time ever.
Is it first time ever?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard decades. Okay, so first time ever that there hasn't been a homicide in DC in a week. First off, that is terrifying that there's a place that homicide is just so frequent that is a stat that we have to work on. But the people out there protesting against the changes to anti-crime, I'm not sure if they actually live there or not, because the people that do live there are all for it. And guess what? The people that live there are not just white people. There's multiple colored people's skin. But you look at the protesters, and it's just a bunch of white weirdos and liberals from Maryland that have no idea of the terrorism that's going on in that city. It's a wild thing to look at liberals and be like, wait, so you're for crime? Wait, so you're for mutilation of children? Wait, why are you for these things? And I think Gabe said it before the show. They're for it because you're against it. And that's the real thing, is they hate you so much that even though it's wrong and horrible, because you're against it, they have to be for it, which is crazy.
Yes, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And the thing about Dean Cain, I do like Dean Cain. I like him a lot. I think he's a good dude. I've never been a fan of his acting or whatever. I wasn't a big Superman, Clark and Lois and Clark guy. Even though I'm a big DC guy, that was the one show I just didn't like very much. Not against Dean. It was because it was more of a drama thing, you know? And I like explosions and less drama.
Yeah, but Terry Hatcher's hot.
But Terry Hatcher is hot. And I remember that one scene. I'll never forget this scene. In fact, it took me like an hour and a half to find this scene when I was doing my Superman documentary, the one that came out a couple months ago. Go watch it. It's on Popcast. But dude, I was looking for this scene because Shane was referencing Dean Cain and Lois and Clark. And I wanted the scene where he comes out of the building with Lois on his arm and he smacks her ass and she goes, woo! I wanted that scene so bad. I couldn't remember what episode it was. Dude, I had to use AI, bro. I went on Reddit. I put a thread on Reddit in their subreddit. I'm like, where's the scene? Where is it?
Find it?
Took me 2 hours to find it, but I got it, bro. And it's in the documentary. It was perfect.
Right on. Well, Dutch, speaking of like clapping back, celebrities that clap back, we've been seeing a lot of viral moments online where these law enforcement people have been clapping back against these like liberal protesters who are in favor of the crime. In fact, there was one iconic one where these protesters were going down an escalator into the subway system of DC while all these police officers, like National Guard, were coming up. And one of them was like, would it kill you to get like a decent job? And one of them clapped back. He said, would it kill you to eat a salad? This protester was quite a large lady. So what's your take on this law enforcement boom that we're seeing?
Well, I don't know. I think it's really good. I've always been pro law enforcement. That's no secret. And I'm glad that these officers and people that are doing this are now able to actually do something about it without being so afraid of being fired or sued or whatever. You know, I literally just watched a video of this guy who was told by a police officer to leave a building. I'm right before we started the show, and instead of doing what the police officer said, the guy turned around, took his shirt off, and squared up like he was going to fight the police officer.
Oh, that was a great video.
Right.
The guy just tased him.
So the cop just pulls out a taser, goes zap, and just thumps the dude with no warning, nothing. Just fucks the dude.
No one flinched, bro.
Nobody cared.
Dutch, you said you're anti-crime. Yeah. That means you're racist, right?
Yeah, totally racist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to make sure we're on the same page.
Born, bred, raised, went to KKK school.
In your opinion, Brian?
No.
in my humble
I am not a
opinion.
racist. I am just pro structure and law. That's we have laws for reasons.
That's racist.
So,
Dutch, have you seen this video? I just saw this the other day where basically some guy is holding up his cell phone. He goes running up to a group of ICE agents that are detaining some illegal immigrants, and he's like, "Excuse me, I'm their lawyer." He's like, "No, you're not." And the guy's like I'm a lawyer, and I'm going to represent these people that you are like illegally detaining. And they're like, "You're not their lawyer." It's like they haven't requested a lawyer. They haven't agreed to you being their lawyer. And he starts shouting at the guys. He's like, guys, tell them I'm your lawyer. Hire me as your lawyer right now. And one of the ICE agents is like the three guys who were detained are just looking at this guy, totally silent. And one of the ICE agents turns to him and is like, if you're going to be an immigration lawyer, you should probably learn to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I love that.
Just like we keep seeing these great viral videos of law enforcement clapping back. But Odin, because you are a steward of America's youths right now, right? You are a teacher. Do you think that it's valuable for kids to see celebrities going out there and standing up for law enforcement and stuff like that?
It's hard to say because let's be honest, kids today are probably gonna not have any idea who Dean Cain is. It's not it's not a knock against Dean Cain. It's just they didn't grow up with that show, and most of them are likely not going to be engaged with a lot of the content that he would be doing now anyway, because a lot of them are all into video games and into K-pop demon hunters and like all that kind of stuff, right? A big one right now that they're watching is that film Weapons. So that's one also like they're more interested in. So horror stuff. But in general, I mean, it's really, as I said, it's kind of hard to say because their life is so fixed on social media. If it was like a social media influencer that they really like and that they respect in a certain way, maybe it'd have an impact. But many of them, even being stuck online, are influenced usually by their communities online, or are still very much influenced by their parents and their home life. So that's why it's something where I don't really think it necessarily is going to move the needle one way or the other. Because I think if you think one way, seeing a celebrity on the street doing something is not necessarily going to change your mind about it. Because you might say, if you already agree with it, oh, that's really cool. Because again, for me, I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, right? For him to be doing that and for others to maybe be stepping in too. But I don't think that, again, basically because we're so polarized, unfortunately, I think that you're typically not going to see that kind of thing move the needle all that much.
Well, I'm going to go on record right now and say that I'm starting the campaign to have Dean Cain become the new CEO of Cracker Barrel.
Yes. Yeah.
I think he could turn that ship around.
That's a great idea.
Yes. Speaking of great ideas, we got R to the Icky for $9.99 super chat. I want to see an action adventure film with a combo of any or all of Henry Cavill, Chris Pratt, Gina Carano, Sydney Sweeney, Dean Cain, and Shane Gillis. It would just piss off so many libs.
Oh, that would that's making my brain explode. So I mean the libs would just.
That's the real Avengers right there.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to handle.
Yeah,
that.
one of the best things I saw this year was Shane Gillis at the what are they? Sports
ESPYs.
I don't know anything about sports, but I watched that because it was really freaking hilarious.
That was really funny.
I mean, Shane's not like a super conservative, right? He's just
he does a great Trump impression.
Yeah, he makes fun of everybody.
He's normal. That's the thing. He's normal, so he seems conservative by comparison because he's normal.
Right, exactly.
The best part of his bit for that award show was when he pointed out like a random black woman in the audience, called her a WNBA All-Star. Everyone applauded. He's like, "I'm just kidding. That shows how much you guys know about the WNBA."
That was the funniest thing. I was dying, bro. Everyone was clapping.
This is the true social justice league that R2 the Icky just called out. So good stuff there. And thank you for the support, R2 the Icky. Hope that you're doing well. I know that he had some health issues a while back, but hopefully he's recovered from that and he's on the mend. All right, guys. Speaking of on the mend, I usually save this stuff for later on in the show, but because we only have a certain amount of time with Gabe, I wanted to make sure that he could comment on this. And that is basically that Disney needs men.
What?
Pretty badly, apparently. Yeah. So this article just dropped in Variety called Disney's Boy Trouble. Studio seeks original IP to win back Gen Z men amid Marvel Lucasfilm struggles. And this article, talk about just the fact that it got written is very telling. But again, when you read through this article, you can see how hard they're trying to spin this so that they don't piss off anyone over at Disney.
Whoa.
But the whole thing is so they're saying that they're defining Gen Z as ages 13 to 28. So men aged 13 to 28. They're blaming COVID-19 lockdowns for hampering them in their formative years. So they're not, I guess well-adjusted, going into adulthood. But basically Disney laid out this mandate and said hey, we need to start appealing to young men if we're going to survive. And so they're asking Hollywood for original ideas that will appeal to these people. And the funniest thing about this article, right? So there's the head of Disney's live action movie business, called a guy by the name of David Greenbaum, who's an older guy, right? So what he does is he hires a woman to spearhead the strategy of bringing in young Gen Z males.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, and it was basically, see if I can find her name here, Daria Sursek, who was former Paramount Pictures co-chief of movies and stuff like that, and she's responsible for Sonic the Hedgehog, A Quiet Place, and Smile. So these kind of lower budget movies that resonated with audiences. But it's the same thing that the Democratic Party did, right? Where they're like, what, you know, like we've lost young male voters. We need to bring them back in. Let's hire this group of obese women to tell us what to do to attract more men back to the Democratic Party.
Yeah, they'll know.
It just goes against so much common sense. But I think it's also emblematic of Disney acknowledging a bigger problem, which is they had some of the most popular male-oriented IPs on the planet, Star Wars, Marvel, all this stuff. And through systematically trying to transition them into girl-based brands, not only did they lose men, but they've also lost a lot of women too. Because, you know, women who would go to these male-oriented, you know, movies and be fans of them, they wanted to see hot guys, they wanted to see adventure, action, stuff like that, good storytelling. That's the thing that's really been plaguing Disney lately is you know, a lack of good storytelling. So I want to start off with Disney's biggest supporter and stockholder on the panel,
Oh,
Brian
God.
from the podcast. Brian, what's your take on Disney's quest to, I guess, attract young men back to their movies?
I'm all for it, because if they don't, then I'm never going to get my money back. So
You're never getting your money back, Brian.
let me tell you something. I look at that stock price almost every day, and I just stare at it, and then I stare at the total return, and the total return is negative 35%. And every day I see that go up a little bit and then go down a little bit, and I die a little bit inside every time it slips from 120 back to 119. And I go, why did I invest in this company? And I'll tell you why. Because it's freaking Disney, and it's been a staple of my entire life. Growing up, I lived in Orange County. Gabe knows. I went to Disneyland. I saw Disney fireworks every single day. I watched Disney cartoons and the Disney Channel. They did that thing with the Vault that was brilliant, where they would bring out a movie every few years, and everyone would go watch it, and it was quality, and it was good storytelling, because it was made by people that loved to tell good stories. And so when COVID happened and Disney fell to their knees for the first time in my lifetime, and their stock price plummeted, 70-something% or 60-something%, I thought this is the best time to buy Disney. And also I had some extra scratch. So I bought Disney, and then I bought more Disney. And then every week I put a little more money in Disney. I thought this is going to be my ticket to out of poverty. And then nothing happened. They went up a little bit, they went down a little bit. They've gone up since COVID, but not much. And I realized that the version of Disney that I remember from my childhood, the Disney that was unstoppable, that the only thing that can take Disney down was a global pandemic and an extreme overreaction by a bunch of dumb Democrats, and others, but dumb people. And I realized it wasn't COVID that took them down. It was their own policies. It was their own decisions. It was supporting the message over the story. Instead of telling a good story or making good movies or entertaining people, they decided that they can teach people, they can train people, they can groom people. And I think it started probably back when I was in my early 20s, when the LGBT malware got sucked into the company, and it slowly took over hiring practices, and it slowly took over the culture of the business. And so now you have this business that won't fail because it's too big, but maybe it should. And yeah, it sucks that I'm invested in them, and I can't get out of it. I'm not gonna lose money. So hopefully, maybe at one point in the future, when I'm dead and my kid.
Oh
no.
Disney just got him.
yeah. Disney just shut down his
Mickey
internet.
Mouse. I don't think so, motherfucker.
Well, he had so much invested in Disney stock he couldn't pay his internet bill. So basically, all right. Well, we'll come back to Brian when he fixes that issue. But before we move on, I want to welcome Tom Connors Jr. to the program. He's finished his cereal, he's petted his turtles, and now he's here. How you doing, Tom?
What?
Hello?
I like turtles.
what just happened? Did I just got doxed, DDoSed by Disney?
Maybe.
Yeah. You forgot to pay your internet bill because you were too
Freaking
invested in
Disney, bro.
All right. Anything else you wanted to say?
Tom is here all of a sudden. When did he get here?
When you did, when you left.
Damn. Anyways, all I'm gonna say is that I think it's a culture issue. I do believe that progressivism and the LGBT, malware is what I call it, has infected their culture. And until that leadership changes and people get, people start, become in charge that can actually do something with the IPs they have, then they're never going to attract boys. It's weird that they call them boys. They're never going to attract masculine audiences again because their culture is anti-masculine. It's anti-manly. It's anti-conservative. Just like Gabe was saying. It's not that they, like these things. It's that they hate these things. And they don't like men. They don't like masculinity, which means that they will never be able to attract masculinity because they don't even know how to. You can't try to attract someone you actively hate.
They hate it and think it's wrong.
Right.
So,
Yep. And if they actually bothered to try to court Gen X and older, men, those men would bring in the younger generations.
100%.
Well,
yeah.
But they've just completely blocked off all male demographic audiences from their stuff. But I want to get Gabe's take on this because I know he has a lot to say and we only have a limited amount of time with him. So Gabe, what's your take on Disney needing, and also just a question for you. How does someone who owns one of the biggest male brands on the planet, Marvel, alienate all of its male audience?
Right. So I'm going to try and be as concise and clear as possible. There's a lot here. I have notes. I won't be boring. I work for Disney. I just got a royalty check from them the other day. I worked for Warner Brothers. I get royalties from them every quarter. Just got a royalty from them the other day. So even though I hate them, quit working for them, and make fun of them, they have to pay me for the rest of my life. So eat it. That said, Carl Jung, one of the great fathers of psychology, said, until the subconscious is made conscious, it will control people's lives and they will call it fate. When you have a premise in life, it will color the rest of everything you do. And the premise that the left has is they hate men. They hate God. They hate their fathers. What is their slogan? Smash the patriarchy. What does pater mean in Greek? It means father. They hate, and patrimony. That's our cultural patrimony. That means the ways of the father, the songs, the religion, the tradition, the art, the food. That is your father's way. So when you think destroy my father's world, what kind of art are you going to make? This is a subconscious belief these people have for whatever reason. It is an evil belief, but they have these beliefs. So then everything that comes out of them is colored by this. They're not making art based on the principles of art. When you write a story, there's the hero's journey and the principles of verisimilitude, storytelling, all that stuff I do when I write a script. When you draw things, there's anatomy, there's perspective, there's color, there's light, there's shading, and you're just trying to make the best art possible and deliver a great story. That's why this stuff used to be good. But if I go to write my script and I go to draw my drawings and say, I hate men, then I'm not going to want to draw sexy women. I hate men, I'm not going to want to write Rambo because that's a cool guy. I hate men, football's too rough. I hate men, eating a steak is evil. I hate men, cool cars suck. It's not that they hate these things. They don't hate all of these things. They don't hate patriotism. They don't hate steaks. They don't hate Sydney Sweeney's boobs. They hate you. Any of you in the audience watching, if I ask you your 100 things that are important to you, your religion, your family, your favorite food, your favorite song, and then I said to you, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, and I hated every of your 100 favorite things, what would you think I thought of you?
You hate me.
I hate you. So when you look at the left, back up 40,000 feet, go 40,000 feet in the air, and look at this thing. They hate everything about white, Christian, European Christendom, the West. They hate it all. They don't hate the stuff. They hate you, and they want to destroy you. And if you think I'm exaggerating, open a history book. What does the left do when they get in power? They stack bodies. They're killing your stuff because they can't kill you. And it is that serious. People laugh at me when I talk about this. Sorry, go read a history book. They want to destroy this culture, and that includes destroying you. And it's so you're like, oh, they made Mickey Mouse gay. Like, how can you say that? 40,000 foot view, dude. There's the probability, the mathematical probability that another person hates everything you like and is important to you. It's almost statistically impossible that they would hate everything. It means they hate you. You got to wake up to that. And what you pay for You're giving yourself an identity. So when you buy the stuff from these companies, you're paying for your wallet, the world you want to live in. You're voting with your wallet. So you need to be very mindful, very discreet about what you're doing, what you're supporting, what you're promoting. That's why I get after my conservative friends who are like, oh, I love watching The Boys and I love watching Peacemaker. And it's like, it's not woke as much. It's still filth. And you're paying for a world of filth from people who hate you. And they're going to use that money to attack you. You really have to wake up about this. It is that serious. Art is about...
I do love Peacemaker, though, Gabe.
Listen, cocaine makes you feel great, too. It's not good for you. I'm sure Peacemaker's super entertaining and funny or whatever. I've never seen it because I was raised not to watch that. And I'm not judging you. That's my own choice. But I know...
Very judged, Gabe. Very judged.
But I know it's bad. I know that...
In your opinion, Gabe.
Is bad. There's scientific research that shows that narrative is the most potent form of persuasion.
Well, and here's my issue with it, because like
any story I present to you, if I'm a good storyteller, your subconscious will interpret my story as true and correct. So if I show you filth and Peacemaker, your subconscious, which is what controls all of our lives, will say it is correct to be that way because I had fun when I watched that. You shouldn't watch that.
Well, yeah, but the problem is with your point is you could say the same thing about the religious right. Is that they're doing the same thing by saying what you're saying right now.
What do you mean?
Right. Like because you're demonizing something that other people like, even though I would argue I didn't see it as woke as other people do. I understand your point of view. And like I said yesterday on X, don't like it, don't watch it. Definitely wouldn't show it to kids, but
not for kids.
To me, I believe in freedom of expression.
For sure.
So,
I'm an artist. I support it 1,000%. I support free speech 1,000%. I'm an artist. I have to support it. But part of my freedom of speech is saying that is bad.
The difference here would be like and my point is like if James Gunn made a video going, okay, kids, make sure you watch Peacemaker tomorrow, and whatever you do, don't tell mommy and daddy.
Yeah,
see, now if he was doing stuff like that, I would understand. No, he's out there like Peacemaker's R-rated. All he's saying is it would help if you've seen Superman ahead of time. He's not saying you have to see Peacemaker to understand everything else going forward. In that respect,
go ahead.
I see where it just comes from, this idea of you need to separate what's for kids and what's not for kids. Because there's even some people who said that there were some things in Superman they didn't necessarily want their kids seeing. And I understand that. The movie's rated PG-13, right? Like PG-13 means under the age of 13, questionable stuff in there for younger kids. So yeah.
Well, part of the leftist progressive agenda where they hate everything about you is hating families. Families are the cornerstone of civilization. And if you make a DC extended universe, James Gunn's thing, where they're calling him super shit and his cousin calls him a bitch, that's not appropriate for kids. I'm not backing down from that. It's not okay for kids. So that's anti-family. And when you have this Peacemaker show that's not okay for kids, how are you going to have an interconnected universe where you want everyone to watch your shows, go to all your movie stuff, but kids who are your future paying customers in just 10 short years, you lock them out of that. They can't watch that show. Mm-hmm. So now you're killing you're cutting the new grass that's going to grow up later. You're killing your future customer base by making filth like Peacemaker. It shouldn't be that way. Star Wars is better than anything James Gunn is doing. I don't remember Han Solo bending Princess Leia over in the middle of that. It's not necessary.
Yeah. Oh, no, but I would argue that there's worse shit in The Acolyte. Even though there's no nudity,
right?
There is more brainwashing as far as lesbian witches than what there was in Peacemaker. We're talking about one scene where he doesn't even participate, really. And there's just this orgy going on around him.
But how will they get young customers? Because the reason I bought Star Wars when they wokeified it is because I loved Star Wars when I was 3 and 4, and it was okay for me to watch. How will I be a 40-year-old Peacemaker customer if I can't watch it when I'm 8? This is dumb business on their part.
Yeah, I've always wondered why they've taken these IPs that we all loved and which were literally they were all PG when we were growing up for the most part, right? And then they made them R-rated and everything. It's like,
well, bro, the rating system changed.
No, but who are you supposed to sell this stuff to?
Dutch, the rating changed. Remember, Bad News Bears was rated PG, and there's more cursing in that.
And my point with Superman is I think Superman's fine for families, but my point is I've talked to people who don't think that Superman was okay for their kids, and that's cool. I get that. Some people are a lot more conservative when it comes to that stuff than others.
That's parenting. Right?
Like I was watching Rambo when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my parents were fine with everything as long as it didn't have nudity in it.
Right, that's
Right,
pretty much
so-
my thing. I let my kids watch whatever they want as long as no nudity.
Rambo was never geared towards kids, whereas comic books and superheroes
And the
are.
And that's the
marketing.
point. Yeah,
And that's the other thing that we're forgetting. It's marketed towards like it was being marketed towards. Why do you think the huge audience was families? It was because that's how it was marketed. So it's like you can say everything about how it was made. The way it was marketed was clearly with kids in mind.
Right.
How was
Superman?
Peacemaker marketed with
Not
kids in mind?
Peacemaker.
Superman. That's what I was
Superman,
saying.
yes, and I don't see
Separate
anything personally anything wrong with Superman. I would still take a 6-year-old to
Oh,
Superman, and I would
but
have
I
a
mean,
problem.
what if
But
you
my
think
point
that-
is, there are parents who do, and I respect
Tom,
that.
Tom, I'm gonna put a pin in this because it's getting away from like the Disney thing.
Yeah.
I want Gabe to finish up his thoughts on like the whole Disney thing.
Bring me back to reality. What? Because I'm off track now. Where did I
All
leave
right.
off that you want me to pick up?
Just you were talking about how like basically liberals hate people.
Right. So we got that. The reason they hate everything you like is because they hate you. It's not because they hate the stuff you like. They probably like some of it, to be honest, but they're just being stupid about it. There was a lady this morning saying that she got carjacked and they broke her arm, but I still don't want you sending the feds to Chicago, Donald Trump. And it's just like, you just want to defy it because it's him. But Disney, well, I'll get back to Disney. The way they have to fix this is, and I wouldn't work there. They can keep sending me royalties, but they got to bring in people like me, people who understand and celebrate men. If you read Dean, everyone that's read Dean Cain, All-American Lawman, my graphic novel, loves it. They say, oh my gosh, it's a rip-roaring adventure. It is 1980s action movie. There's no cussing, there's no sex, but man, it's badass. Yes, I did it like Indiana Jones, like the old Star Wars, like the old stuff that we loved. And it wasn't filthy, but it was really hardcore and fun. And you need guys that think that way. But Tom Cruise, look at Maverick, look at Mission Impossible. I haven't seen all the Mission Impossibles, but the ones I've seen, they didn't seem to have all that woke stink all over them. Maverick didn't. It was awesome. It was just action. It was bros. They did have one woman pilot, and she is the only one who crashed. So I did like that. Female driver. I like you, Tom Cruise. I like what you're saying there, the meta commentary. But really, you get a guy like Tom Cruise in charge, guys that think like him, say, hey, what do men like? They like being heroic. They like overcoming great odds. A big, terrible David and Goliath scenario, save the beautiful woman. Because in our hearts, that's what we want to be as men. We want to be provider protectors. So it's not, but if you hate men, you can never make entertainment for them. You can't do it if you hate them. So they got to bring new people in. You're not going to change these people. I worked in the building at Warner Brothers for 3 years. In the building as an artist. I was a staff artist inside there coloring comic books. Most of the people are normal. Believe it or not, they're not woke weirdos. But the woke weirdos that are just a small percentage, they are vicious and out of control. And they cow everyone into silence. And they control everything there through the HR and, oh, you said this and that. And so Hollywood is controlled, like most problems are just caused by a small minority of people. And if you study anything about communism, because that's what this is, it's the long march through the institutions. This is in their literature. Get themselves into the institutions over the decades. The school, the church, the government, and entertainment.
Bro, that's right out of the Marxist playbook, bro.
That's what they call it, the long march through the institutions. They get in there, and then guess who's in charge of hiring and firing? You only need a few people. And when they get in there, it's the woke commie weirdo, and they'll fire you if you speak out or you don't.
Gay malware. That's what I call it, Gabe. It's gay malware. That's what it is. It's malware. It gets in there and it takes over the system, dude.
So here's how you fix it in the audience. You want to know how we fix it? You don't give them your money. You vote with your wallet. You let that stock price. Sorry, Brian. You let that stock price go to hell, and eventually the money's the boss.
I'm not doing it, Gabe. I'm not losing 37%.
Brian, you got to take that money out and put it in something that you can.
What the hell happened to our stock?
Oh, Warner Brothers is doing great. Maybe I'll put it in Warner Brothers.
There you go. Do it.
And
put it in the crypto and get that 37% back.
Bro, you kidding me?
Here's what you do. You vote with your wallet. So you take the money away from them, and the stockholders, the board, and they all get very upset. And you run out to American Eagle when Sydney Sweeney's being sexy, and then they'll get jealous. They're like, oh, we got to do that. You support the stuff. I said earlier, and I'll shut up.
I bought 37 pairs of jeans. I don't even wear those sizes. I'm too big.
What you pay for is who you're saying you are. And it's the world you want. You are saying, I want this world. Spend accordingly.
You guys like this show? You can become a member right now.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Gabe, thank you so much for your thoughts on this matter. Everyone out there, go to bigmancomics.com, pre-order his upcoming book. He's doing some crowdfunding for it right now. Sounds
Pay for
great.
the world you want.
Hey, can I say something really quick? So I have to admit, Gabe, I kind of got out of the comic book collecting world. I used to collect a lot of comic books because they got too expensive and with all the variant covers and all that kind of stuff. I went and looked at your website,
Mm-hmm.
and and your prices. I wanted to see what your prices were, and they're right there with the standard, fundraising comic book world. But what I didn't realize was that you're selling full-on 128-page graphic novels for the same price that all these other people are selling 20-page comic books for.
Thank you.
So I noticed that, and I think I might actually start buying one, because there's no way you're ever getting $25 out of me for a fucking comic book.
You shouldn't for a 22-page book. Floppy? No way.
Right. So, but you're selling graphic novels, and I didn't realize that.
Those
are, so yeah, those are full on 128
THICC, thick boy,
full on stories, and I just wanted to point that out because I don't know if I'm sure there's people out there like me that go like, I'm not paying $25 for a single comic book, but these are books. These are books. These are full 128-page stories, and I just wanted to point that out. So thank you.
Thank you. Listen, I'm humbled. I really, really appreciate that. That's awesome to hear that from you because you barely know me. I really and when I speak passionately like that, guys, I made 6 figures working at Warner Brothers and Marvel and all that, and I walked away from that on principle. I mean what I'm doing. If I just gave, if I only cared about money, I would have just stayed there. They paid me good. I didn't have to look for work. I didn't have to advertise and try and sell these things. They sell Batman. I just made the artwork. But I do care about our culture deeply. I care about you. I care because America's a gift. My dad is from the third world. He told me what it's like. We never got to visit any of my relatives. I don't know my dad's family because a dictator, a socialist dictator murdered my grandfather, murdered my dad's friends, had my dad on a list to be killed if he came back. It's too important. That's why I walked away from Disney and Warner Brothers and all that. And I make this stuff. Can you share my screen? I want to show the people really quick these covers since he was talking about them. With This is Dean Cain, All-American Lawman. And look at that. A car chase with cops, an exploding helicopter, buildings, a beautiful woman on Dean's arm swinging. We got him here as like a James Bond tribute. The cartel leader, the sexy nightclub singer. Here, all kinds of James Bondish kind of adventures. Yeah, this one's 116 pages. Empyrean, Earth Illuminated, the husband and wife overthrowing the dictator, hiding the truth of paradise, an evil cyborg assassin, a crazy wingsuit the hero flies around in. This is this is fun. This is 120 pages. So I write mine the way I'm trained to write is the Hollywood 3-act hero's journey. So they're 120 pages. So it's like you're watching an hour and a half, 2-hour movie. I write them exactly like that. And then Tyrus, I just finished drawing this last night. If you love Ninja Turtles, which I saw in theaters last week, they re-released the 1991, holds up. I was so happy to sit in the theater and watch that. If you love Ninja Turtles, we have all kinds of mutant animals in this one, and the Incredible Hulk, which Tyrus is a giant fan of. You're going to love this book. I mean, we got a half goat villain, okay? Half goat, half man. You will love this thing. And 120 pages. Tyrus is 125. It's longer than the others. So please, Big Man Comics, pay for the world you want. You will love this stuff. I'm very sincere about doing my best work.
Gabe, when are you doing a Greg Gutfeld comic?
You know what's funny? The pink like dragon gargoyle man that's fighting Tyrus on the cover there that I showed, his real name before he mutates is Greg, and that's kind of a wink at Greg.
Nice.
So it's fun. It was really fun working on this stuff. Tyrus is a huge comic book fan.
Well, Gabe, I know
shit, is it a talking goat?
Yes. Gabe, I
Only
know
a few
you have
older kids will get that one.
I know you have a granddaughter you need to get back to, but
I'll get till 11:30 with you.
All right. You're welcome to stay on here as long as we go. But if at some point you need to jump off, just let us know. We'll give you a send off.
Okay.
But now I want to go to the king of the pineapple pizza, the Lord of the Shelves himself, Odin from O&B Reviews, because Odin, you obviously have a lot to say about Disney destroying the male brands. Chris Gore famously said like transitioning to a girl brand is the biggest mistake Disney will ever make with these IPs. So I want to hear your take on it. What do you think Disney can do to fix this, if anything?
Not a whole lot at this point. Basically, they need to start making good content consistently. And until they start doing that again, they're never going to win anything back. They can make all the promos they want. They can put all the letters out they want. They can do anything like that, public relations wise. But until they actually start to produce that content and to do it consistently again, it's never going to happen. And with the type of brand damage that they've created, it's going to take quite a bit in order for them to be able to see that kind of change and that kind of healing that they honestly need. But it's just, I laugh at that article title so much because, yeah, anyone who's actually been following this stuff for even just the last few years, you all know it's like, okay, why in the world, if they have a boy problem, right? If they have a problem with getting men to watch their content, it's like, go back in time. Why did they buy Marvel? They bought Marvel because it was a male-dominated brand, and so that was going to guarantee more male eyes because their previous stuff was mostly female-dominated, right? They already had the female market in so many ways. This was their opportunity to take advantage of that. But what happened? They decided instead to push it towards women and decided to turn it into something that it's not. Then Star Wars, same thing. Male-dominated property that they decided to, push everything. Kathleen Kennedy's, yeah, exactly. Force is female, put a chick in it, make her lame and gay, like all that stuff, right? Everything that they were doing. They're continuing. They just kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and now they've dragged two major IPs into the mud. Star Wars in a much worse situation than that of the MCU, because at least the MCU still has a couple of movies every now and then, like a Deadpool Wolverine, that is able to at least bring some life into it. But it's not because of anything Disney has done; it's because of everything that's previously been done by the other films and by the characters and the actors and everything else involved with it. So it's honestly insane. And hilarious that this article is coming out now because they had it. They literally had the perfect combination of properties. They could have been completely dominant, and they flushed it all down the toilet for the sake of wokeness, for the sake of identity politics.
Well, Odin, you are a theologian, and you kind of embody the demographic that Gabe pointed out is like Disney hates you. But in addition to that, to Brian's thing, like Disney's stock really fell off a cliff when they started going anti-family. And so like, like the family unit, the Christian white male, theology, like all this stuff, the Western theology, Disney has been trying so hard to not just move away from that, but also vilify it. What do you think Disney needs to do to not just win back men, but also like families?
I mean, it kind of goes back to the same thing I mentioned before, right? Is just to start putting out the good stuff again and to be consistent with it. Because, I've been saying this now for a long time. I date the loss of the family for Disney in a very clear and concrete way back to the release of Lightyear. Because that's when not only did you have like the gay character in Lightyear, not only did you have some of the other stories coming out about them pushing more and more gay characters in their family content and everything like that, you then also had Disney getting actively involved in Florida's politics with the whole Don't Say Gay legislation. And all of that, I think, came in at this perfect storm situation where, again, a film about Buzz Lightyear didn't do anything at the box office. Families just stuck their nose up at it and just left it to die. A horrible death. Like one of the worst box offices we've ever seen for a family movie, for an animated film. And again, for it to be within the same framework of Toy Story, right? Even though it was obviously not about the toys, the fact that it still connected to it and it did as poorly as it did with all those other things happening, that's why it happened. So what they need to do is they need to get the hell out of politics. I think the best way to do that, if you want to have the quickest change, you get rid of Kevin Feige, you get rid of Bob Iger, you get rid of you get rid of all these figureheads whose names have been recognized now by a lot of these people, and then you put new people in that have no name recognition or good name recognition, and then again put out consistent content, and over time you eventually can get those people back because they still want to support things. It's not that Disney can't have any movies. Look ahead, Lilo and Stitch, right? Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion at the box office because of that already established goodwill of the IP. But even that one, they probably lost some people on who even spent money on the tickets because when you got to the end, people said, wait a minute, that's not the story. That is not how the movie is supposed to end. So the first one may have worked, but if they try a second one, I don't know necessarily if it's going to be as successful.
I would really like to be able to go to Disneyland and go to Star Wars World or whatever it's called for the first. I've never been there. And you know why I've never been there?
Edge.
Galaxy's
Star
Edge.
Wars sucks. They ruined Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I still haven't gone. And they're not getting my money.
You're not missing anything.
But
You're not missing anything, bro. You want $37 blue milk?
Listen, all I would really like is to go to Disneyland and have a fun weekend. I really would, because I used to really love Disneyland when I was a kid, but I can't do it now. I just can't go and and justify it to where I feel like the money I'm spending is going to a good group of a good company or whatever. I can't give them my money.
The music is really good over
bad,
there.
You know,
Can I?
Well, go ahead, Gabe.
I'll try to be quick because I know I've spoke a lot about this, but I worked there.
Mhm.
Lego did a study in the early I looked it up because I was trying to find out the year. I think it was 2012. They were trying to crack the girls market, Lego.
Mhm.
And they did a huge sociological study, and they found out boys and girls are different. And the female imagination, as a rule, you can't say, as a rule, the girls want Batman to become them, and the boys want to become Batman.
Right.
And that's why women leadership ruins all the boy IP, because you look at how Batman is, and the girls go, no, he should go to brunch, and he should go get his hair. Like, they want him to do everything they do. Like, it's me, it's me, it's me. And the boys are like, look at Batman's muscles. And then they look in the mirror like, oh, I got to get this gut down. You know what I mean? You look at the hero and you're like, ooh, I need to be like him. And the girls look at the hero and go, oh, he needs to be like me.
It's the whole.
It's reversed.
Yeah,
so
it's
it
the whole
destroys
G.I. Joe
the aspirational aspect. That's so important to men to aspire, and that's anathema to a woman's imagination. It's the reverse for women.
Yeah, that study was famous because, like, it's basically what happened to Mattel 40 years ago.
Mhm.
For those who don't remember,
She-Ra.
Masters of the Universe was the biggest, and I mean the biggest toy property on the planet. It beat Barbie for the first time ever. Nothing had ever beat Barbie before. And so the girls department got pissed. And when they heard they were introducing a sister character to He-Man, they self-inserted themselves and hijacked the property. And I'm not even kidding. This feud still goes on to this day. There are people that worked at Mattel there that left. There are people that blame the women's department for doing this to this property, for destroying the biggest property of all time, because they took the toy part of it and they took control, and none of the toys were compatible with He-Man whatsoever. And what happened is as soon as boys saw that their sister were playing with this She-Ra doll and they wanted to play He-Man with them, they're like, fuck that. I don't want to play with a doll where my sister is crimping the hair and there's ponies. And look at Bo. Look at all the male characters in the She-Ra line. None of them are nearly as big as He-Man, but if you watch the cartoon, they're all the same size. So to kids, that made absolutely no sense, and they were turned off instantly by that. And you guys are 100% correct, and that's what I wanted to say about this, is Odin was hitting a nail on the head. This is what I find hilarious about this whole article, because we can sit here all day and say, yeah, we've been telling you guys for almost 10 years now that you're going to screw up and do this. The thing that I find hilarious is they're doing the same exact thing Disney did 20 fucking years ago or 15 years ago when they bought these properties in the first place. Instead of fixing the problem, instead of fixing Star Wars, instead of fixing Marvel, they're like, we're going to go buy some other stuff and try Tron again and Pirates of the Caribbean. And what's next? John Carter of Mars all over again? It's like we're in a fucking cycle. It's like, you idiots, you've done this already. Fix Star Wars. Fix Marvel. Fuck the other shit. Nobody wants Tron but you. Like, only 5 people in the world love Tron, and I'm one of them. Right? I loved like Tron too. But I'm to that point where I'm like, I can admit, guess what? Only geeks get Tron. Only geeks get it. So move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get your Barbie doll or get your action figures away. God, I can't even say it now.
But that's exactly why Barbie.
Figures.
That's why Barbie can be anything you want Barbie to be, because that's what Gabe was talking about. That's why Barbie always worked for girls. That's why Barbie's a doctor. She's a nurse. She's a lawyer. You insert whatever the fuck here Barbie is. She can be anything.
Yes.
Girl power.
There's the high end Barbie for rich families, the American Girl dolls. These stupid dolls are like, $150. You buy all these outfits, and the girl is you. You pick out your skin color. You pick out your hair, your eye color. You make the girl you. Boys don't do that. Boys get the G.I. Joe doll and say, I need to be better. I need to be like G.I. Joe. So yeah, exactly. That's the problem with Disney.
Is there a truck driver Barbie or a
coal miner?
That's the funny thing. There's no plumber Barbie. There's no truck driver Barbie. There's no sewage Barbie. Sewage department Barbie.
Dutch, I want to talk to you about this part of the article where basically Disney is looking at like the success of Minecraft and Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that, and they're saying, okay, in order to appeal to Gen Z, we need to do more original video game properties.
Oh,
And Disney just bought into 10% of Fortnite, even though they didn't get the movie rights to it.
Shocking.
But they Fortnite can now use, Disney characters in the game and stuff like that. As a gamer yourself, what do you think are the properties out there that Disney should be focusing on to get this demographic into their fold?
I don't know.
Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem. I mean, I feel like the gaming world is kind of stuck in this same thing. They don't have any like new IPs really that they can mine for this kind of stuff. I mean, Fortnite is lame, dude. Fortnite is a silly little cartoon game that they're inserting Marvel and Star Wars characters into. If you want to play Darth Vader or whatever and go shoot, Gumby or something in Fortnite, fine, go ahead and do it. But I really don't know, because I don't really see them like.
I find your lack of credits disturbing.
Yeah, I don't play Fortnite. I hate it, but I don't feel
I don't
like
know if there's credits.
Yeah,
V-Bucks.
I wasn't prepared for your question, Matthew, but I'm trying to think of properties that they could mine, but
Well, let me ask you this.
I mean, I guess Laura Croft. No, that's the Gen Zers don't know who Laura Croft is.
Let me ask you this, Dutch. How hard is it to think of an original IP formula that would attract men? Because you have Kevin Feige out there saying they're having a hard time making Blade because they don't want a black guy in leather running around killing vampires.
We all know that. That's Blade's probably the easiest movie for them to make.
Yeah, exactly. And the formula has always been get a awesome, buff, heroic looking guy, have him blow shit up, and have sexy women in it. And that's always been a formula for winning.
It's not that hard.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But also,
Why do you
music,
think Jason
trench
Statham
coats.
makes so much money?
Did they really say they don't want a black guy in leather killing vampires?
Yep.
Yes.
Kevin
Did
Feige.
they not see?
Kevin Feige said that.
Yeah,
The
he
first
actually said
Blade,
that.
which is one of the greatest superhero movies ever.
His quote was like something like, "Look, we want to make this more than just some guy running around in leather killing vampires." And we're like, dude, that's literally what Blade is.
Yeah, it's all it needs to be.
That would be
too.
like if Kevin Feige, if this Feige dude ran McDonald's, he's like, listen, we don't want to have like sizzling beef and French fries, okay? That's like, come on, what are you gonna say? Cheese and buns next? That's what
he
you
also
say about McDonald's.
He also said he didn't want Fantastic Four to be too white, which is why he cast Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. I don't know, Matt.
Just
I think to
off-white.
answer your question, I think they're going to have to go into a world that I'm not really familiar with, and that's the whole like anime world, that kind of stuff. A lot of these Gen Z kids, they love that stuff, that Japanese animation and all those.
Well, they're
characters over there.
embracing manga and all that
Yeah,
business because they have nothing
Right.
new, right? That's the biggest problem we have here is kids
Exactly.
don't have anything new to and that's why Minecraft did what it did.
Right. I think they got to like go over the ocean and start mining those properties over there.
They can't
So-
because they don't know how. Like they
And-
couldn't do even like a K-pop Demon Hunters, right? Whether you like the film or
Right.
not, they couldn't make that movie. They could like, and also even if they did, let's say they bought the rights to something, the reason why it wouldn't work is because they don't understand that the audience of manga and anime, they are going to be just as strict in many ways, but even more so as far as accuracy. So like if you are not going to respect the source material, it's not going to succeed.
No, I agree with you. I'm just telling you that's where they probably should look, but I mean,
Well, Tom,
they're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
I want to wrap this up with Tom's thoughts, because in the article they do talk about how Gen Z gets a lot of its entertainment through social media, and the reason Minecraft did so well is because you had all these viral clips on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that people were making, like fans of the video game were making, from like theater reactions and stuff like that, and that motivated other kids to go out and see this movie. We also saw it with Five Nights at Freddy's, where like it was a mobile game. It was all over social media, a lot of Let's Plays, and so people were really hyped to go see that, especially like the young male crowd. So what role do you think social media is going to be playing in Disney's strategy?
Oh, probably big time. Because I mean, honestly, like, look, we can debate all day long we want about certain things. The reason Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya are movie stars is because of their social media following. The reason Superman did so big in the US is because James Gunn has a big social media following. They do pay attention to this, and we've seen this, and we've been telling people this for a while, that this is part of how they make their decisions in Hollywood as to who gets what roles. going back to the Batman, for instance, Matt Reeves wanted Nicholas Hoult to be his Batman, but social media says that Pattinson's more popular, so Warner Brothers pushed for Pattinson instead, and then Matt Reeves caved. That being that's just how these things are decided. Do I think it's going to make a difference? I don't know. When it comes to kids, it might. I think that when it comes to the younger generations, that's one of the ways you're going to have to get them involved, because that's a big part of their lives, whether you like it or not. Now, how Disney utilizes that is a good question. If I were them, I would be knocking on Ryan Reynolds' door and say, teach us how you did Deadpool so we can do that for everything else. Because or just turn him on to the people that came up with those campaigns. And I'm not saying Disney has to be R-rated or anything. No, the point is those were some of the best viral campaigns as far as selling movies in the last 5-10 years. Because it was just Ryan Reynolds going out there doing the Alfred Hitchcock thing. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking, like, Alfred Hitchcock would never show you any parts of his movies. He would just come out there and go, hello, I'm Alfred Hitchcock. This is Bates Motel. And he would just take you through this whole thing. And that's what Deadpool was doing. So, and I'm not saying you have to do that for everything, but I'm just saying that kind of a thing going. Yeah.
That was also what Weapons did for their trailer.
Exactly. See, like, and if not, embrace things like Sydney Sweeney. Get back to being, sexy for the teenage boys when it comes to the kids in the family. Look, you got to get that is going to be your hardest one. Lilo and Stitch was a step in the right direction, but they got a long ways to go. Because I don't know if Lilo and Stitch necessarily suffered other than just for the fact that Disney has this stink about them right now, that people were kind of reluctant to it. And when most people were like, yeah, it's pretty much the same as the original, then I think that's when it kind of people started going to see it and whatnot. And that's how it made $1 billion. But if you notice, no other family films are doing well this year outside of How to Train Your Dragon, right? Like, so, I mean, unless Odin, I'm missing one or misremembering one, because I can't think of any other family film besides Minecraft and How You Train Your Dragon this year. And Minecraft is barely a family film, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm talking like, Pixar, Disney type stuff that normally we'd have 2-3 movies of those every year, and we haven't gotten them this year. Elio was the only original property we had this year that I can remember, and it just bombed. So at this point, what do the families have? And I think that is an underserved audience right now outside of streaming. And that's why K-pop Demon Hunters is doing so well. And sometimes when certain things drop on streaming, they tend to do so well with these kids, because not only do they have instant access to it, unlike a theater to where they can go see it, every day on their phone or wherever they're at with K-pop. And I'm sure that's why that was so popular. But look at something even like Happy Gilmore 2, which may not necessarily be family, but that's something that I bet a lot of families did watch. And that's how it became the biggest thing on
my
Netflix
wife
ever.
Loved that movie. My normie wife loved the new Happy Gilmore movie.
But we don't get a lot of that kind of stuff in theaters now. Was the new Naked Gun even rated PG-13? Because it sure felt like an R, even though it may have been a PG-13.
They did that movie a disservice by not releasing it in the theaters. They absolutely did.
Happy Gilmore? Oh, yeah. Like Netflix, if they had put that in theaters, it would have probably beat Fantastic Four that weekend.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
I mean, just look what a limited release of the Demon Hunters is doing. It's expected to maybe even do up to $20 million this weekend. And it's like, that's just.
And again, I mean,
money.
You could debate whether or not Happy Gilmore's good for families, but I know a lot of families that loved the original Happy Gilmore, and there's nothing really too much in this new one that's any worse than the
not
original.
For young kids, but teenagers.
Not for young,
I know
young
a lot
kids,
of teenagers that did enjoy it. Like there were definitely some like 15, 16-year-olds up, like because that's like the demographic I teach, that had actually seen that movie.
Well, guys, do you know what else teenagers love? Our super chats. And I want to get to these before Gabe leaves, because some of them are directed to him. So CJ Chappie for $5. Gabe, All-American Lawman video game win.
Oh, from your lips, or I guess from your super chat to God's ears. Yeah, we wanna obviously do everything with this stuff. And I don't want to talk about any movie, TV show, video game before it's time. So no comment, but yes, I would like that. I would like all that. I have a lot of fun making this stuff.
All right, Tom, I need your Japanese voice to be ready for this one. So we got you fuck that biche for $199.
Gabe, you want to graphically my upcoming novel?
This person's talking about some sort of partner. I mean, I partner with a lot of people. You could always go to bigmancomics.com and contact me there. There's a little form to send me an email. And, I listen to people if they're serious, they know what they're doing. Sure. There's not a promise for anything, but, I'll talk to anyone. You know,
If
Draw
there's
me
any-
like one of your Chinese women.
Yes.
I believe in the Frederick Douglass quote, which I hope I don't misquote. I will team with anyone to do good and with no one to do evil. You know.
Well, if there's anyone's graphic novel I would pay money to see, it's You Fuck That Beaches.
100%. I'd pay for that.
Every week he's on here dropping little haikus that are just gold. So appreciate you. We got Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle for $5. You know, since Jared Leto is in Tron, Disney can do another multiverse thing and bring in Morbius.
Yeah.
They make dozens of dollars.
Dozens. Just literally
Morbin
dozens.
time.
Yes, it's Morbin.
It might actually help, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's the
Tron-
latest thing is the rumor going around is that Tron isn't even in Tron. So do I get to use my meme again? My famous Jeff Goldblum one I've gotten to use for like a dozen things already. He's like, hello, are you going to have any Tron in your Tron movie?
Tron the Morbining. That would be great. Mr. Tickle Trunk for $5 Canadian. I'm a normal center left liberal, and I agree with you and like you, Flex. Drop this us versus them stuff, Gabe, and try to say leftists or you lose the liberals.
I got to get my terminology on that right. I do say Democrats a lot and liberals, and I do mean leftists. I do mean commie scum. That's what I mean.
Like that guy running for mayor in New York, right?
Yeah,
The unfortunate thing is that there's
Mommy Donnie.
not a lot of separation, unfortunately, because even if you may not be one of them, many in the Democrat Party continue to vote for them. So it's like it's really hard. It's like you're still supporting them, even if that's not you personally. So it's kind of.
I still think there's a whole lot of voter fraud on that side of things.
Look, no politician has your best interests in mind, period.
Yeah.
Just because hundreds of thousands of votes came in at 3 a.m. after a pipe burst, doesn't
Come
mean
on.
you start slinging around accusations.
Come on.
There
Well,
was
but
no
All the votes
van
that came
full
in
of
went to one
ballots.
candidate. Come
There
on.
was no van full of ballots at all.
Yeah.
I mean, with hundreds of millions of USAID money producing fake Chinese ballots for mail-in,
What?
Those were
Yeah,
real Chinese, trust me.
All right,
because
Dirty Red
California
90 for
registers
$10. I think it's quite telling that 2/3 of the official output of the new DCU is not appropriate for kids. Not a great start for James Gunn's cinematic universe.
Fair, but at the same time, DC since day one has embraced that they're both PG, PG-13, R rated, whatever, with the Snyderverse business and some of the other stuff. I get it.
Yeah, Snyderverse
get
definitely wasn't for families.
Yeah, when you're starting it off, though, that's where it just you need to get the full family in first, right?
Mr. Tickle Trunk, $2 for Canadian. P.S. Buy Gabe's comic book.
Do it now. 120 pages, graphic novel.
Do it now.
What are you waiting for? Do it
Do
now.
it right now.
Guys, it's from the heart. It's great stuff. You'll love it.
An AC Mono. AC Mono for $5. It's all down to the wrong people in charge. Change that first.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Gabe, I know that you have to get out of here soon. Is there anything else you want to share with our audience before you have to bounce?
I want to thank you for having me on. I thank you for giving me access to your platform and all the great guys on the panel. It's really fun just to get all the different opinions and just kind of iron sharpens iron. We agree, we disagree. And the chat, you guys are awesome. And I did like that last comment, change the leadership. Yes, we need that. If you had a football coach that hated football and thought it was too rough, his team wouldn't do good. And that's what you have at Disney and all that. You have people that hate their audience. I, in contrast, love my audience, love my customers. BigManComics.com. Follow me everywhere on X and Facebook, Instagram. I'm Gabe Eltaeb. You see how to spell it there. It's a tricky last name, but it's Beetle spelled backwards. It's Arabic. And follow me on social, subscribe to my YouTube, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the support, everyone. I sincerely appreciate it.
Later, bro.
Thanks for being here, Gabe.
You guys are awesome.
Appreciate you. Say hi to Dean for
Good
us.
seeing you again.
All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about another Warner Brothers property. At least I believe it's Warner Brothers, which is the new Blade Runner 2099. I just want to
you
touch
mean
on
Alien
this.
Earth?
Something like that, yeah. But I just saw this tweet this morning. I wanted to get the panel's reaction to it, which is basically, there we go.
Does WB still
Edit
have
this
the rights
in.
to Blade Runner? I think they do.
So Blade Runner 2099 will release in 2026 on Prime Video, not theatrical, starring Michelle Yeoh and everybody's favorite trans performer, Hunter Schafer.
No.
Here's why I was asking, because I thought Sony was doing this. This is where I was wondering if It jumped ship from Warner.
Doesn't
to
matter
Sony
if it's Warner Brothers or Sony. Basically, it's direct to streaming.
Yeah, it is going on Prime. Yeah,
and it's taken an actress who she's a great actress, but she hasn't really made inroads in American audiences, despite the fact that she's an Oscar winner. But like her Star Trek movie just tanked, so she doesn't have like that pull, right? And then you have this guy cosplaying as a woman who's going to be in the movie, and I personally like the sequel to Blade Runner, but from what I'm seeing from this, Villeneuve's not in it. It's like basically a direct-to-video like sequel. I wanted to get everyone's take on it. Let's start with you, Odin. What do you think about what you just heard about Blade Runner 2099?
Well, I mean, when you said straight to streaming, I immediately red flags went up, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And so, yeah, a TV series set in this world could be good, and Michelle Yeoh again could be good.
It's not a TV series; it's a movie.
This
Direct-to-video
upcoming
movie.
sci-fi miniseries, television miniseries.
Okay,
created by Silka Luisa for Amazon Prime Video.
Here's what I think happened. I think it was initially meant to be a series, and it's just going to be a mini series now. That's my guess.
Yeah. So no, like again, all of that was there, and then all of a sudden you mentioned Hunter Schafer, who I'd never heard of before until all of the whole crap
Zelda
about
stuff,
Zelda was going on, and everyone's like, "Oh, this person would be perfect." It's like, no, that's a dude. No matter what he says, no matter what he thinks, no matter what he wears, he will always be a man. You can never change that. It is biology. Literally, it's within your cells that you cannot change. But that alone has me where, no, I have no interest in this. None. Why would I, for one, want to support... First, it's on Prime Video, which Prime Video tends to have, again, usually not some great content. There's like diamond in the roughs that sometimes come through, but it's usually not that great content. And then you just add to the fact that it's going to be featuring someone who is living a delusional lie. And I think it was probably done for the purpose of pushing that. Yeah, why would I want to support that and watch that? Lord knows I'll probably have to watch it because Gary's probably going to make us watch it for FNT, unfortunately. But I have no desire to actually see it.
Tom, what's your take on this?
I thought we already had a series, An Alien Earth, because like Ridley is so obsessed with these fucking robots.
Yeah,
like I tell you what, man. Like, and this is what we found out in the background. Like Odin said, Ridley must have bought the rights to this. Is what happened? Is that what I'm thinking? Because yeah, Warner Brothers has nothing to do with this. Hence, that's why Villeneuve has nothing to do with this. Look, honestly, having a trans person in this is almost ironic as fuck. Because especially if they play a replicant, it's like, you don't even realize what you're doing, do you? But on that note, it doesn't matter. It's going to be some pretentious, overly fucking, like, existential bullshit, just like Alien Earth, that we've seen a million times. Right? Like, let's be real. This is going to be the same shit we're used to. Has there ever really been a good Blade Runner movie? I know people love the first Blade Runner, but is it really a good movie? Step back and look at it for a minute. It's cool to look at. Has lots of great visuals, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have much of a story. It's real simple. And the second movie has more of a story and it sucks. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, so what's the real deal with this shit? They're replicants, or are they real? Are they real, or are they replicants? Can they make babies? Who cares? At this point, like, I'm so played out on this crap. Like, I don't care. I really don't care. It could be the most amazing thing in the Blade Runner universe, and I could give a shit at this point. Because I have zero interest.
It makes me think of it being as like a... I like this comparison. It's kind of like a high-end Avatar, where it's like it's all about the visuals, but it actually looks nicer, and over time it ages well.
I mean, I'm not saying that Blade Runner's not watchable. It's very watchable. It's one of those movies where if it's on and I find, I can watch it once in a while. But as a story goes, the fact that you have 5 different versions to try and explain this to you tells you there's a problem with the narrative. That's number one.
Right? Why are you letting him sit here and talk shit about the original Blade Runner for?
I do,
because I'm being truthful.
You need to be silenced and kicked off the fucking show for the rest of the day.
All right.
So, no, I'm just kidding, Tom.
Wrong Scott died. I'm just going to say it.
I actually really liked 2049, but Brian,
there's only one Blade Runner movie, and it's the first one. Okay, guys. So
Brian, what's your take on this being an Amazon original with Michelle Yeoh, who can barely speak English, and the Hunter Schafer being cast.
Yeah, it sounds horrible, dude. It's just that simple. It sounds really, really bad, and I'm not interested. Although I'm happy that Vanilla Will
Vanilla News.
Denis Villeneuve.
that dude is not doing it because I equally don't like him. So
Ooh.
I'll take both. But no, I it sounds boring.
Nah, Vanilla
I think
Pudding
I'm
went
with
screwed up
Tom.
Dune.
I don't think I've liked the Blade Runner anything ever. And the concept of Blade Runner is always a cool idea, but it's never quite realized in the hype that I would want it to be realized in. So not interested. And I like Michelle Yeoh, but yeah, she can't speak English, dude.
I want to go watch Blade Runner again now. So,
Well, Dutch, what's your take on this?
well, like Odin said, I saw straight to Prime Video. That's Michelle Yeoh, and then Tranny, and I went, nope, I'm out. Screw this. I'm not watching it. So I have no interest in this at all, and I probably won't even give it another thought after we get done talking about it today. So I'm out. It's real simple, real easy.
Well, I want to throw this back to Tom because, Tom, I watched the first 2 Alien Earth episodes, and I'm usually a big fan of Noah Hawley. Like, I've really liked the stuff that he's done in the past. And I thought the first episode of Alien Earth was very promising because it captured the feel of the original Alien. But then as we got into the second episode, and I haven't watched the third episode yet, but as we got in the second episode, like the Peter Pan imagery and thematic callbacks got really kind of like in your face and stupid. I didn't think it was bad necessarily, but it also like wasn't quite what I was expecting after seeing the first episode. So I'd like to hear your take on what you think is so bad about Alien Earth.
I'm surprised you made it that far. Well, first of all, I'd like to know if there was going to be any aliens in this Alien series.
There were lots of aliens in it.
Not in what I watched. I only watched the first episode and then part of the second one, and I shut the shit off as soon as I realized it was going to be the Power Ranger preteen Power Force
Hunger Force
show.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, it was just like, this is not what I signed up for. If this was a Blade Runner show, fine. Like all these ideas and elements that Ridley keeps trying to bring into the Alien franchise with the replicant shit, fine in Blade Runner. But the problem is this goes against everything that comes in Alien and Aliens, because the way that they react to Ash and the way they treat Bishop doesn't jive with how important all of a sudden these robots are to this galaxy because of what Ridley Scott has done with his prequels and the midquels and all the other things that have been going on. And in that, I found it's being way too that's taking up way too much of the story. Now, I know there's other new aliens that we see. I will give you that. So as far as like beyond the xenomorph, yes. But to me now, those aliens just felt like they didn't fit and they weren't that great. But I didn't see some of the more action-y stuff that happened in the second episode, I guess, as it goes on.
The xenomorph was in the second episode quite a bit.
See, I only saw the quick flash of the first episode. And see, my issue is that whole first episode should have almost been like Alien Redo with those people on the ship getting us back into that universe. And again, and I guess the other thing is I could say up front is that if this was after everything else, I wouldn't have hardly any problems with a lot of this stuff. My problems is that how much it destroys canon, because here we are yet again with another incident where, not just Wayland, but all these other companies are somehow aware of this alien. And that to me bothers me most, because when Burke, his character in part 2, he is responsible for sending that colony to that planet. And the way he acts is like, I got to go figure out what the hell's going on because we're wasting billions of dollars otherwise. And I don't think he would have sent those people there knowing that they was a threat of an alien. Because if you're going to do that, you do what you did in Covenant, and you just send a crew out there, and then you let them get fucking infected and have the robots fly them home, right? Like that makes more sense than what they did in Aliens. And the same thing here. This to me felt like, why are we doing this? This should be aliens on Earth. If you're going to do that, it should be all out alien war. And if you're going to be able to transfer people Avatar style into robots, Why not some of these grizzled old Marines? You know, like some of the guys are like, "Go, my brother got killed on that planet. I want to crack at these aliens."
Yeah, they made it clear that you can't transfer an adult consciousness because the neural pathways are too set, so that it
Doesn't
won't work in
fucking
the
matter.
transfer.
At the end of the day, none of their rules, all the rules they have, none of them make sense, right? Like, because they're always contradicting one thing or another. She's jumping around like she off a fucking cliff and doing all this fancy shit, yet they act like she has some kind of limitations when she doesn't. It totally lost me. Especially when you've got in Aliens, when Bishop literally gets ripped in half like paper by the Queen Alien, right? And then you have this other robot who's dealing with the alien like he's dealt with one before in the beginning, the cyborg guy.
Yeah,
That
he's a
bothered me
cyborg.
too. Yeah.
Like, so there's all these little intricacies about the show that I'm just going, it's taking me out of it because none of this should be happening. But if it was in the future, I wouldn't care so much.
Yeah, I mean,
Tom-
chronologically, this happens right before the last Alien movie and before Alien 2. So what was it? What was it?
No, actually, it takes place 2
Romulus?
years before Alien. That's what makes no sense.
Yeah, it's
No,
2
it
years
doesn't.
before Ripley. Yes,
No,
does.
it's 2 years before Alien. Look at the timeline.
That's what I read too.
I think it's 2 years before Aliens.
no.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Aliens
I
is
think you're right, Tom.
57 years after Alien because she's floating in space for over 50 years. And they
I think you're
still
right.
don't know anything about the alien at that point. And that's why I'm saying that none of this shit jives because they act like they've known about this alien for so long. And it's like, no, when they first showed up to that planet, they had no clue what they were stumbling into. It was a complete accident. But Ash saw that as an opportunity because when he talked to Mother, they wanted the specimen. That's when he decided, okay, that's when he's going to go against protocol, and that's when he went fucking wackadoo, right? Well, in Aliens, that's the whole thing, is they have no idea what's going on. They're sending a military crew out there to find out what the fuck happened because an entire colony of people just disappeared. And Burke's freaking out because his job's on the line. And maybe not even just his job, but he might go to prison, right?
All
Like
right,
he's
so-
looking... Yeah, so
so
none
here-
of this
here-
jives with the rest of the stories.
Here's the chronological timeline: Prometheus, Alien Covenant, Alien Earth, Alien the original film, Alien Romulus, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection.
So I mean, if all this stuff was after Alien Resurrection, I could care less.
Well, you're right about the canon thing. My biggest problem with it is because if the story was good, a lot of people wouldn't be able to deal with the canon breaking stuff and just be like, and they would invent their own headcanon as to how it fits in with the universe. My biggest issue with this series, and I've watched every episode, is there's too much going on. It's like if it just took place on, like, if the first episode was just that ship, get us back into the universe, great. But they keep bouncing around with these different characters and stories, and it's very hard to keep up. It's so convoluted, and the amount of time you have per episode, you need to tell like one complete story. And I think they're trying to fit too much crap into one series. Also, aliens are awesome. We don't need to invent like 5 other aliens. It's not necessary.
Also, I'd argue that Alien versus Predator was the original Alien Earth. So
That's true.
There you go.
At least that one fits in a way that you can understand that it doesn't affect anything else. Yeah, that's the main problem we have here. We have a ship that lands in the middle of a fucking city. Right? Like, that's another issue.
Yeah, AVP
But
was
it's
Arctic, right?
it's a city that is controlled by
Mark Zuckerberg.
That is so
corporation.
convenient. So convenient.
Well, again, gotta get back to one of the points that Tom brought up too. Like, that was a problem that I had because overall, I think the series is. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's necessarily a complete crap, but it's also one I just have no interest in. So I guess by default, it's bad because of that. But like in that beginning part where you do have that cyborg, and it's like all of a sudden there's now a weapon that you can use to electrocute the aliens, and it just knocks them out. It's like I didn't realize that this technology existed. Like, why is this tech not existing?
Why didn't they
anywhere
take
else?
that with them when they went to on Aliens? Yeah.
And then puts them in that like web sack thing to carry around. And I'm like, that would be, I guess, okay if they had previously established that you can take one of these things out pretty easily, like with basically a taser. I'm just like, wait a minute, a taser basically takes this thing out? This is weird.
No.
Dude, predators couldn't kill him effectively.
They needed
so-
fire in the other movies. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, even the bullets didn't really do well because if you shoot them, then their acid would bleed through the fucking hull of the ship. So you can't shoot them. They had to use
Yeah.
the fire. Yeah.
Yeah, their ultimate killer.
Yeah, and what's your take on the show?
Yeah, I mean, basically that's it. Where my bigger issue is one that it really comes up a lot in modern Hollywood, especially, and it's kind of disturbing. And I know it's gotten some attention on social media too, but I just have a big problem when they're trying to put children's minds into adult bodies. I just really have a problem with that.
I didn't like that.
And I don't know. Obviously, nothing's happened yet, but I really hope that they don't do any type of romance stuff. Because if they do, it's like that's just going to be once again the reminder of just how depraved these writers in Hollywood really
beyond
are.
The creepy stuff, yeah, because I'm sure that one of them is going to discover their sexuality, but because you don't even have a moment that kind of sets it. And this is my problem when you put having like kids turn into adults. You have the big problem, and that is where the adult version of the kids act more immature and stupid than the kid version did. Like right off the bat in this. She's like freaking out because she discovers her tits. It's like the girl's like 12 years old. Don't think that she hasn't thought about that or known about that or
especially when she's in a body that shouldn't necessarily have hormones because she doesn't have blood because it's a different system altogether. Again, it just
and that's what we're going to learn. I think is another thing about this Odin is they keep acting like they're not supposed to have all these emotions and things, but then the first thing she does is have an emotional reaction to her brother.
Right.
See, that's my issue. So this whole show is going to lead to the fact that, yes, we're going to find out when they transfer this stuff, they do transfer their soul and emotions and all that too, by the way. Because that's going to lead to, guess what? Winona Ryder in the fourth one. Because remember, she didn't even really know, like, she didn't even act like she was a replicant, remember? Because she had emotions and all the synth, the whole thing. Yeah, and see, I can already see where some of this shit's going, and that's where, like you, I'm just like, I have no interest in this. This is so 101 writing, cookie cutter, existential, what is life, meaning of life, what is the soul bullshit that has been, waxed over since the days of Galileo.
I did love the ship though, and the cinematography, like it reminded me of Alien and Aliens. Like,
I mean,
that part looks great.
Berries, Brian, member berries. That's all it is.
Now this one, what makes Brian? Now you might appreciate this. This is what upset me about watching especially the first few minutes of this, and seeing how well he was able to capture that original feel of Alien. Because you guys are right. I'm like, now I wish this guy would have made Star Trek 4. Because you know what? I bet you he would have found a way to make all that retro Star Trek technology fit into a modern film.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
and give it a decent script. Then
you know what's interesting about Noah Hawley, and like I said, I feel like I have to wait until all of Alien Earth is out to really judge it, because typically his stuff you have to take in like
the journey
in a holistic manner. But the thing about Noah Hawley, if you look at him, so like in Fargo, he basically emulated the Coen brothers style to a T.
He did.
When it came to Legion, he was mimicking Stanley Kubrick's style, and he did that to a T. It was really well done. And in this one, he's
the next J.J. Abrams, is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's really good at seeing what makes movies unique and then replicating it in his own way. So like with this one, like in the first episode, which he wrote and directed, he nailed Ridley Scott's style.
He did.
Like it felt like a Ridley Scott movie that I was watching. It's just that I feel like the story is a little bit too existential and dreamlike and slow.
I really like
it.
It's slow.
It's pretentious. It's very pretentious. And I think that's the problem with it, is that this is stuff that we've discovered and went through a million. Like, this is the same stuff they covered in Blade Runner, right? Like, what makes a replicant? Right? Like, that's kind of the big question. Does a replicant have the ability to love, to...
But to be fair, Tom, that's a common robot thing.
That's what I'm saying.
For like 150 years.
Like,
Isaac Asimov wrote, "Do robots dream of electric sheep?"
Brian, that's my point. Is this is something we've seen?
That was Philip K. Dick, Brian, and that was what that was what Blade Runner was based off.
Okay,
it wasn't.
Let me reframe what
his
I'm
was
saying here.
Electric Dreams.
Regardless, let me reframe what I'm saying.
Philip K. Dick.
My point is this:
Electric Dreams was also Isaac Asimov.
Let Tom talk.
No, it was Philip K. Dick.
They're trying to put in this whole idea with the robots, right? To kind of make us question humanity and life and all this other shit. And this is the shit that Ridley Scott has been trying to introduce for the last few movies. This is why I have a problem with it. There is no questionable. The aliens are bad. We are good. There's nothing good about the aliens. Okay? So there's nothing to sit here and question about our own existence or anything like that. All it is see bug, kill bug. That's what Alien always was. We're not supposed to understand it. All we're supposed to understand about it is that it was some kind of biological weapon that got out of control. And it's just basically that's all it is. It's not.
Yeah, they're designed to be evil and kill. That's
terrifying. That's also
we're not supposed to be exploring our own humanity through Alien. Alien is a fucking warning about biological weaponry. Period. That's it.
Starship
Nothing
Troopers
more.
did it better.
And that's what this should be, Brian. This should be Starship Troopers 2.0.
Yeah,
that's what it
you're
should
right.
be.
Yeah, with cooler graphics. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, with aliens instead of bugs.
Yeah.
Well, I think on that note, we're going to end it because there's no way to top that. No way to top Tom when he goes on a rant.
No.
Guys, we had a lot to talk about today, and we talked about it. I want to thank everyone for being here, including my fantastic panel of nerds. Odin from OMB Reviews. Any final thoughts, and where can people find more of you?
Yeah, you can find me over at OMB Reviews on YouTube, Twitter/X, and over on Rumble as well. Box office breakdown video tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And the last, oh my goodness, really? And then the last thing I guess I would say, since it was more of a tangent and we didn't really get to talk about a whole lot, but I definitely agree with our guest that Peacemaker season 2 is degenerate. That's all I'll say.
All right. Sometimes it's fun to be degenerate, but
not if I have to look at full frontal male nudity.
Fact.
Yeah,
fact.
Yeah, that's true. I would much prefer female nudity, but I get you.
All right, Tom Connors Jr. from Midnight's Edge. Any final thoughts, and where can people find more of you?
I wish I could live the life of debauchery that is in Peacemaker. But look at it this way.
Lives. Yes.
The point is Peacemaker doesn't even really participate, and I think the whole point of this show is going to be kind of like Deadpool, where he's going to want to be the best guy he can be, and I think that's what's going to be the overall arcing thing. So him going to this other dimension that's perfect is him going to be learning how to be a good man. So hopefully that'll be the overarching story, but we'll see. But other than that, you can find me at places doing things with people, and I do like turtles.
Yeah, he does.
Places doing things with people. That's
all right. And Brian, I have my facts in front of me. Philip K. Dick wrote "Do Androids?"
Yeah, I meant Robot Dreams by Isaac Asimov.
Okay, Electric Dreams is
not Electric Dreams.
You were wrong, Brian.
Yes,
my bad. I've read a lot of books. I get them mixed up. I meant Robot Dreams. Like the same exact concept what Tom was talking about has already been explored.
But Brian, do you have any final thoughts and what's going on the Brain Show immediately after this?
Yeah, immediately. I'm gonna pee in a bottle, and we're gonna start it up. Let's see. What is my final thoughts? Odin, you're wrong. Tom, good to see you. I like turtles too. Dutch Butters, enjoy your gaming later on. And Mr. Kadish, thank you for having me. Brain Show is going to be awesome. It's going to be 3 dudes talking about awesome stuff. I hope you guys can join us. And that's about it. Oh, and happy birthday, Shane.
Yes, happy birthday, Shane. And
Brian's brother, Shane.
Through the power of technology, we're going to handshake with the Brain Show as soon as Brian's done peeing. And we'll send you guys all over that way. All right, Brian Brother Shane, happy birthday. Dutch Butters, what's going on with the Salty Nerd Gaming channel?
God, I don't know about you guys. Salty Nerd Gaming channel. We are preparing for all the Xboxers to join us next Tuesday as the game Helldivers 2 opens up to all the Xbox people out there. So we're going to have a whole new group of reinforcements coming in to join us, and that's going to take place Tuesday. So we're going to be doing a live stream. Hopefully we'll bring a couple Xboxers in with that. And other than that, we're just getting ready for the rest of the year. There's a lot of new stuff coming out. Battlefield 6 is coming out. Arc Raiders, Jump Space, and Escape from Tarkov is going to their full version of the game in September. So lots of stuff going on in the end of 2025. So come join us over there and play some games with us. So,
yeah.
All right, good stuff. Want to give a big shout out to Mexican Iron Man, R to the Icky, You Fuck That Biche, Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle, Dirty Red 90, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and AC Mono. Thank you guys so much for your support and your super chats throughout the course of this episode. Really appreciate you guys. Didn't quite hit our goal, which for memberships, which means Dutch Butters is going to quit the show.
I'm out.
He possibly can.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Yes.
That's all of you. I'm done.
Yes, join him on OnlyFans eventually in the future.
Only feet.
Only feet, exactly. Until next time, guys, tune in next Saturday, same salty time, same salty channel for more Salty Saturdays. Stay salty.
America.